Hey guys, so welcome back to my channel. Y'all know if I'm sitting here, this is a bit of more serious topic. This is a sit down conversation, me and you. It's us. So I don't know how many of you guys know this, but October is actually Domestic Violence Month awareness. And I don't think my new subscribers know this, but I am a survivor of domestic violence. I don't like the word victim. I don't like that word. Yeah. So this would be officially the first time I'm really talking about this in about a year. So last year, October 22nd, 2018 was the day I finally had enough. I finally decided that I wasn't going to be degraded anymore. I wasn't going to be physically, verbally, or emotionally abused anymore. That I was not going to be a victim anymore. I wasn't going to try to figure out ways to cover up the bruises. I wasn't going to, make excuses. It got to a point, and just a little background story. So this guy that I'm talking about, my ex, whatever, we dated off and on for a year, literally 1 year. So from like September 2017 to around August, yeah, I would say like August is when I just got like fed up. I didn't want to go do the back and forth anymore. I didn't want to make up the breakup. But it wasn't until October when I didn't know if the last time he hit me I would ever get up again. I didn't know if the last time he choked me, if I was ever going to see my daughter again. And I do not take men or even women hitting each other lightly. I don't think it's funny. I don't think it's cute. I think it's disgusting to put your hands on another human being. That is literally disgusting. How can you have zero communication and emotional intelligence that you need to put your hands on someone? And of course, that's not what I used to think many years ago. That's not what I used to think. I thought it would be acceptable. Like I said, I grew up in a toxic environment. My parents weren't always like beating each other, but I did see some things that children should never see, personally. So since that time, I literally have not spoken about this. I honestly did not even realize or know, I would say no, that October was domestic violence awareness. I had no idea it was at all until I was scrolling on Facebook and I saw a post, and I had been contemplating making this video anyway. I literally have not talked about this in a year, like at all. But I thought, it's Domestic Violence Awareness Month. This is a whole year that I am actually alive to tell this story, so I'm gonna tell it. I'm not gonna get too much into details because it's still something I'm really working on. It's still something I kind of suffer from PTSD because of it. I really, sometimes have flashbacks, but I try to, I feel like God has made everything that's happened in my life a testimony to help other women to grow, to better themselves. That, hey girl, you are not alone. It's not your fault. I could never justify a man hitting a woman, or even a woman hitting a man. I can't justify that. I think it's disgusting. I really, really do. Because you don't really realize the effects, or you know, the damage you cause on another human being, because you do not know how to properly, you know, express your emotions. That's not anyone else's fault but yours. You know, that is not a human being's fault, because you don't know how to communicate. So like I said, we were off and on until about August, and then I was like, I'm just really over this. Like, I don't even like you like that. And it was my insecurities that was keeping him around. I was very insecure, you know, even with the soul ties. Soul ties are really, really strong. And that's why I'm very adamant about celibacy. Not having sex before marriage. Of course, that's not what I used to be. So, but I'm very adamant about, you know, not having sex before marriage, because you get intertwined with somebody else's soul, and that's how God intended, you know, sex to be. That is what it's there for, so you become one. That's the whole purpose. God did not intend for sex to be a bad thing. He meant it to be a very beautiful thing under the covenant of marriage. So, you know, for, you know, the reason of the soul tie, my own insecurities, I could not let the relationship go. I thought that I needed to have a man to feel validated. I really, truly thought that. And clearly I've worked past that, because I can speak about it. You don't need a man to be validated. You know, I felt so judged because, okay, I have a child, I'm not married. What are people thinking about me? When in all reality, it doesn't matter what people think at all. Like, at all. It doesn't matter, you know, how I got my daughter or how I am where I'm at. Because people, they're always going to make assumptions. They're always going to, oh, she young, she black, she got a child. Typical, stereotypical, you know, stereotype me. When in all actuality, if you ask me and know my story, you would know that no, I just didn't have a baby. No, I didn't just, you know, I was married. I was trying to do things the right way. But anyway, so my relationships, I will say, they did have some domestic violence in them. They did, all of them. I watched stuff like that as a child. You know, when you got upset, you throw things, or, you know, you start screaming at the top of your lungs, or you just do things that are not okay. And it wasn't until I got grown that I realized those things are not okay. You know, and until I was one in the situation, I'm like, whoa, this is not okay. This sucks. Okay, this is horrible. I don't want to be treated like this. I don't want to treat anybody like this. So, and this is like still very difficult for me to talk about, because like I said, I don't think things like that, they're not funny. It's not okay. And it's so sad that people are posting memes about men threatening women. Like, who deemed this okay? I think you're sick. Like, you're mentally ill if you really think that's okay. It's disgusting. I remember this one time we had got into a physical altercation, and I had this enormous bruise on my thigh. And I'm more than positive I wasn't the first one he hit on. Like, no, I'm more than positive I was not the first. And unfortunately, I probably won't be the last. I might be the first one who pressed charges, but I probably won't be the last, unfortunately. I had this enormous bruise on my thigh. And you know, we had kind of made up or whatever, and he looked at it and he's like, oh man, I did that. And I was like, well, yeah, you did that. He didn't say sorry, he didn't apologize. He looked at me and said, I bet you won't keep fucking with me. As if this was a game, like we were supposed to like be on each other. What? Like, there was so many red flags in this relationship. Anybody who calls you out of your name or demeans you, or they just talk crazy to you, leave them, sis. Leave them. Even like some men, like, leave her, she crazy. Being crazy, we normalize things. I've noticed in the society that we currently live in, we normalize things that are dysfunctional as hell. Like, I'm sorry, they're dysfunctional, they're not okay, and we normalize them as a society. Calling a woman out of her name is disgusting, just like calling a man out of his is disgusting. Putting your hands on somebody, like, that shows a representation of who that person is and their character, their behavior. There's so many red flags. I feel like as women, we just, oh well, it's because his father wasn't in his life or his mom didn't love him. We make excuses. We make so many excuses. I would go to work and I had the massive bruise on my wrist. It was, y'all, it was huge. And I'm a chocolate girl, okay? I'm chocolate. This bruise was big. It was very like yellowish, like, it was very noticeable. But I had put an arm thing. If you look in like one of my old videos, you'll see it. I think it was like a video. I'm also wearing glasses, but he never hit me in the face because, like I said, I wasn't the first. So anyway, I was making excuses, and I had a co-worker. She was older than me. She was in her early 40s, and she was a mom to 3, and she had also been in a domestic violence relationship with her kid's dad. And she would tell me all the time, Taryn, you need to leave. You need to leave. Like, if he'll hit you now, he'll hit you later, and he won't give a damn. And I'm just like, well, you know, I think we could work through this. I think this and that. Baby, you can't change nobody. You can't change someone. If they're willing to hurt you physically and emotionally, they don't care about you. That's not a way you show love. And I was never properly showed love, ever. So I wasn't sure how I was supposed to respond or anything. I was never showed proper love. Not from an example. It wasn't until I stopped dealing in that relationship that I was like, okay, how do I learn the proper way? How do I become a better person? It took a lot of self-reflection on my behalf. Like, what am I exuding that I attract this person who don't even care about me or themselves? And I was missing my own self-love. Like, I didn't love myself. I didn't. Like, how can you expect someone to love you and respect you if you don't? I always hear the saying, you teach people how to treat you, which I never really understood that. But now, y'all, I am a self-love coach. At this point, I completely understand what that means. You teach someone how to treat you. So if you are, say you have say you have a set of standards. For instance, I choose to be celibate until I get married. That means no fornication whatsoever. I don't even want to kiss the dude. Like, that's how celibate I'm trying to be, you know. And if I just allow it, if I tell the dude up front, okay, well, I don't want to do this, and then I do it anyway, that person's gonna try to, okay, well, she let that slide. Like, how far can I continuously push this person until I get what I want? You set example. You teach this person how to treat you by your example. You can't just say something. No, you have to walk it. By you walking it, that's how you teach somebody how to treat you. If I tell a man, I don't like your approach, but I continuously entertain it, obviously they're gonna think they have a chance. Or if I say, I don't smoke, cigarettes, weed, whatever you want, or whatever you want to think, is just an example, but yet I sit there and you offer it to me and I take it, you teach people how to treat you. You have to do the self-work, the evaluation of yourself in order to get treated how you deserve to be treated. For me personally, if you come to me and like talking crazy out the side of your neck about anybody, like for instance, I've had people talk crazy about their exes, like sideways. That's a red flag. I'm sorry. That is a super, super huge red flag. They're talking like, oh, she ain't this, she ain't that, she never did this, she cheated on me. Those are red flags. Not saying they might not be true, but if you come out the gate talking, I'm sorry. No. Those red flags. We need to evaluate how we treat ourselves. Once we can properly treat ourselves, then we can properly treat someone else and be in a healthy and happy relationship. I'm sorry, y'all, my throat hurts really bad. Once we treat ourselves properly, then, you know, we can treat people properly. It says in the Bible, first commandment is to love God with all your heart. And guys, I'm just paraphrasing this off the top of my head, but it came. And to love thy neighbor. How can you love your neighbor if you don't love you? How? I really need to know. If you don't love yourself, if you don't respect yourself, how can you ever love and respect another person? You can't. It all starts within. It all starts with you and who you are. I really, really hope this helps somebody. Even if like you're a young girl, or even if you're like a guy, I don't know. I really want you to understand causing pain of any sort on another human being is a direct reflection of how you feel about yourself. So if you think it's okay to hit people, talk crazy to people, there's a lot of self-evaluation you need to do, and you need to heal. You need to take the proper steps to heal, to love yourself. I hope this really blessed somebody. You guys stay blessed, you stay encouraged, and you stay in the word. Bye.